Green Nation, full alert! Can you feel it in the air? It's that green and white energy pulsing stronger by the day in the heart of Eagles Nation. The season may still be a few months away, but if you love this team, you know the countdown has already begun, and the anticipation is electrifying every corner of Philadelphia. The city is alive. The locker room is buzzing. And behind the scenes, total combustion. Hot moves are happening. Strategies are being fine-tuned to perfection. And one thing is crystal clear. This squad isn't here to play it safe. They're here to soar. Higher than ever. Howie Roseman is working like a chess master. The front office is locking in the final pieces. And the players? They're hungry. The mindset is simple. We want another Super Bowl. And we want it now. If you're the kind of fan who gets chills just hearing "Fly, Eagles Fly," who gets emotional thinking of past legends, and who believes more than ever in the power of this new era, then you're in the right place. But before we dive into the hottest updates, do this, smash that like button with pride, like someone who's carried this passion for years. Whether you've cheered from the stands at Lincoln Financial Field, screamed your lungs out, or followed every play with your heart pounding from miles away, this space is for you. And if you feel part of this story, drop this in the comments with fire in your soul. Go Birds! My heart bleeds green and white. Let's fly higher. Now buckle up, because the first headline of the day is absolutely spine-tingling. Let's dive right into it. ESPN insiders Adam Schefter and Jeremy Fowler have both reported that Jaire Alexander could be a potential target for Philadelphia. Schefter even mentioned on 97.5 The Fanatic that if the price is right, specifically a short-term, low-cost deal, the Eagles could absolutely make it work. That's huge. The big question is whether Howie Roseman and Vic Fangio are aligned on this. We know Fangio and Howie have been working collaboratively to construct this defense, and it's clear that Fangio's influence is already being felt with moves like drafting Jihad Campbell and transitioning Zach Bond into an off-ball linebacker. Now imagine this, Vic Fangio's base defense with Cooper DeJean at strong safety, Reed Blankenship at free safety, and Quinyon Mitchell and Jaire Alexander as your outside corners. That's potentially elite. In nickel formations, the safety duo could rotate with Andrew Mukuba or Sidney Brown, and you've still got Khalil Ringo in the mix, though his role becomes uncertain if Alexander comes on board. Ringo has shown promise. He's big, fast, physical, and he impressed at mandatory minicamp, but the addition of Alexander would signal a shift toward proven veteran talent over youthful upside. And let's not forget the personal connection here. Eagles defensive backs coach Christian Parker was with Alexander in Green Bay during some of his best seasons, 2019 and 2020. That's when Alexander was not only staying healthy but also dominating. Parker is widely respected in coaching circles, and some believe he could be the next Eagles defensive coordinator if Vic Fangio decides to retire. Parker's track record includes mentoring rookies like Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, both of whom started on the #1 defense in the NFL last season. So bringing in Alexander could be a seamless fit from a scheme and chemistry perspective. But why was Alexander released in the first place? Well, the Packers tried to trade him, particularly around the NFL draft, but couldn't find a deal they felt good about. They then attempted to restructure his contract, which he wasn't on board with. So, he was cut. Over the past 4 seasons, Alexander has played in just over 30 games. Availability has been a concern. Yet when he's on the field, he's electric. He's a 2-time second-team All-Pro, a Pro Bowler, and he has 12 career interceptions. His release speaks more to the Packers' changing identity than a drop in his talent. Green Bay is getting younger, and they're even experimenting with Bo Melton, a former wide receiver, at corner. That tells you all you need to know about how chaotic things have gotten there. So if you're the Eagles and you can bring in a guy like Jaire on a team-friendly deal, do you pull the trigger? It might indicate a lack of confidence in Ringo, but the upside is undeniable. And with Fangio's influence and Parker's connection to Alexander, it feels like more than just smoke. It feels like a fire waiting to ignite. Meanwhile, the Eagles front office is also making moves. Howie Roseman has hired Preston Tiffany, a rising star from the college football ranks. Tiffany, who played key roles at both Ole Miss and LSU as director of player personnel, is now set to join the Eagles. He's been instrumental in bringing top-tier talent to powerhouse college programs, and now he's bringing that eye for talent to Philadelphia. His resume is impressive, a bachelor's in economics and finance from South Carolina, an MBA from Ole Miss, and a clear knack for identifying elite players. Just look at what he did for Ole Miss in 2023, 11 wins, a Peach Bowl victory, and a top 10 national ranking. This move is more than just adding another name to the front office. It's a strategic play to continue reloading a staff that has been poached heavily over the past few years. Speaking of top-tier additions, Saquon Barkley continues to steal headlines. Not only did he lead the Eagles to a Super Bowl win over Patrick Mahomes, but he also topped the NFLPA's year-end player sales list. He's the first running back to do that since Ezekiel Elliott in 2017. From jerseys to merchandise, Barkley's brand is booming. And his stats in 2024? They're unreal. Over 2,000 rushing yards, 345 carries, 5.8 yards per carry, and 15 touchdowns. He averaged over 125 rushing yards per game and provided explosive highlights, including a jaw-dropping hurdle over a Jaguars defender. It's no wonder he's the face of Madden 26. And the best part? He's not slowing down. Barkley said this week, "I feel like I'm just entering my prime. I want to play for a long time. If he stays healthy, he could be the engine of this team for years to come." Now here's where it gets interesting, and maybe a little concerning. According to Steve Fezzik and Ross Tucker, sharp bettors are starting to fade the Eagles, betting under 11.5 wins for 2025. Why? The logic is that the Eagles have been one of the healthiest teams in the NFL from 2021 through 2024. But in the NFL, health often regresses to the mean. Could Philadelphia's incredible injury luck run out? It's worth noting that the Eagles had 21 of 22 starters healthy for the Super Bowl last year. In 2022, every starter from Week 1 made it to the final game. That's unprecedented. Credit goes to Nick Sirianni's staff and the new medical team. But if the injury bug hits, things could spiral fast. And finally, rookie Jihad Campbell, who the Eagles traded up for in the first round, has officially signed his rookie deal. For years, nearly $15 million fully guaranteed. He's still rehabbing from a shoulder injury but has started light drills at minicamp. The Eagles viewed him as a top 10 talent in this draft, and if he's healthy by training camp, he could be another young cornerstone in this already dangerous defense. So here's the question I'll leave you with as we wrap up part 1. Should the Eagles take the risk and sign Jaire Alexander if he agrees to a cheap, short-term deal, even if it means slowing down the development of Khalil Ringo? Let's pick up right where we left off, because this conversation around Jaire Alexander and the Philadelphia Eagles is just heating up. We asked the big question. Should the Eagles take the risk and bring in Alexander on a low-cost, short-term deal, even if it potentially stalls Khalil Ringo's development? Let's be real here. The idea of adding a proven lockdown corner like Jaire Alexander to this secondary, especially when paired with a rookie stud like Quinyon Mitchell, is incredibly tempting. And we know what Vic Fangio wants in a cornerback: instincts, physicality, short memory, and elite coverage ability. When healthy, Alexander checks every one of those boxes. You don't become a two-time All-Pro and Pro Bowler by accident. The issue is not talent, it's durability. Over the last 4 years, Alexander has only played a little more than 30 games. That's less than 50% availability. For a top 10 paid corner, that's a tough pill to swallow. But that's the beauty of the current situation. He's a free agent now. There's no massive contract attached. No draft picks required. It would likely be a one-year prove-it deal. That's the type of move Howie Roseman has excelled at. He's the king of minimizing risk while maximizing upside. Just think back to the deals he's made in recent seasons. James Bradbury, Hasten Reddick, and Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph, smart, efficient pickups that paid off big. Adding Alexander in that mold? It would make sense.